What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in to talk about Arms Week and some other new weapons that we're going to start being able to get access to in the coming week following the weekly reset for the 29th of July. So first up, we will cover Arms Week momentarily. We'll talk about the new hand cannon and trace rifle that we'll be able to earn in the coming week, and with Trials returning, that'll give us another spread shot hand cannon, which is a brand new archetype of course. So we'll talk about the perks and roles on these. If you guys find the video helpful, then be sure to get subscribed to the channel, as we got a bunch of other Destiny stuff to cover. But otherwise, now let's get into it. First up, Arms Week is coming July 29th, so Bungie say we'll need to head to Ada 1 to pick up a pursuit that will unlock us access to the new hand cannon, the Fenutria Ferra, and basically through the week we'll need to play activities with hand cannons, which will enable us to gather combat telemetry, and then we can build more rolls of this thing. And Bungie said that holofoil variants of these weapons will be available if we reach higher ranks. On top of that, there'll be some new, pretty crazy weapon mods that we'll be able to use for the duration of the event, allowing precision final blows to produce randomized effects, but another one which grants supremely improved hipfire weapon performance, and things like precision final blows creating multiple explosive submunitions, so these are going to be pretty broken mods. The new hand cannon, Fenutria Ferra, of course, is a spread shot hand cannon. This one comes with solar damage. Obviously, it's an archetype we've never used, so it's difficult to give precise recommendations in terms of rolls, but the first trait slot can get Barrel Constrictor. Of course, with this behaving a bit like a shotgun, there are a handful of shotgun bonuses that can actually roll on them. It can also get Threat Remover, Threat Detector, Slide Shot, Transcendent Moment, and Proximity Power in the first trait slot, with the second slot getting 1-2 Punch, Swashbuckler, Binary Orbit, Surrounded, Frenzy, or Incandescent. I imagine these won't have the kind of range that we normally get from hand cannons, so things like Barrel Constrictor probably are going to be pretty good. It'll also be interesting to try perks like Threat Remover and Proximity Power, where when targets are nearby, final blows grant bonus melee stat, as obviously there will be pairings there with things like 1-2 Punch and Swashbuckler, so a couple of potentially interesting combos on that front, and obviously Proximity Power with Surrounded could be pretty interesting too. In terms of second slot bonuses, I can't say that I've used Binary Orbit all that much, you'll have to give me your thoughts below, but there are the other damage bonuses like Frenzy, or of course Incandescent if you like the sound of that. Keep in mind the Tenacity origin trait on this, and when targets are nearby, final blows grant weapon damage, reload speed, and handling until the wielder's death, so having any of the damage bonuses paired up with that may turn out to be pretty interesting on this weapon. So I'd love to hear in the comment section what kind of rolls do you think you might go after on the Fenutria Ferra, which will be the first spread shot hand cannon that we'll get access to. Bungie did additionally say that we'll also be able to get the Ribbon Tail, which is a new strand trace rifle for this event. Ribbon Tail won't be the featured weapon, so I don't think we'll get it as often as the hand cannon. It's probably the case that we can get it from engram drops or something like that, but won't be able to specifically focus it or purchase versions of it directly. But in the left column, this can get Envious Arsenal, Transcendent Moment, Subsistence, Threat Detector, Wellspring, as well as Proximity Power. Then in the right column, we can roll Surrounded, Detonator Beam, Tear, Binary Orbit, Redirection, and Killing Tally. The interesting thing with this weapon, I think, would be Redirection. We saw the changes that perk got back in Heresy, and it is actually really, really strong. So a nice pairing I'd be looking out for potentially on this would be something like Subsistence and Redirection. It's nice to have a strand trace rifle in general if you want to take advantage of things like Tear. Again, there's the combo of something like Proximity Power and Surrounded, which could be interesting, but I'm not sure being really close range is kind of a strong point for trace rifles. But again, let me know what you think could be interesting for this one. And otherwise, coming up this week, there'll be the Aureus Neutralizer, which is a new Trials weapon. Now, we don't know what the first featured Trials weapon will actually be, but normally we can get additional Trials weapon drops from things like the engrams. So, Aureus Neutralizer is a kinetic spread shot hand cannon. The left column can again get Barrel Constrictor, but there's also Grave Robber, Lone Wolf, Threat Detector, Threat Remover, Proximity Power, and Vorpal Weapon. Then the second column can get Adagio, Cascade Point, Closing Time, Desperate Measures, 1-2 Punch, Trench Barrel, and Opening Shot. So again, Proximity Power, maybe this time, paired up with something like Trench Barrel would be pretty interesting. Also, Grave Robber Trench Barrel could be pretty unique. With this being a Trials weapon, it gets the Fleet-Footed origin trait, where dealing damage grants you a short window of increased movement speed and airborne effectiveness, and landing a final blow increases these effects. Plus there's Roar of the Battle, where being in combat for a short duration increases handling and stability, and it will get Hake Breach armaments. So of the two spread chart hand cannons, let me know which you are most interested for. Otherwise, Trials also gets the Auric Disabler, which is a precision frame strand auto rifle, and this can get Gutshot Straight, Dragonfly, Dynamic Sway Reduction, Hatchling, Lone Wolf, plus there is Slice and Zen Moment, which can pair up in the second column with Desperate Measures, Kill Clip, Onslaught, Sword Logic, Tap the Trigger, Target Lock, and Tear. We'll break down a couple of reprised Trials weapons in just a moment, but Trials will also get new armor. I don't have full previews for all classes, but Bungie did share what the Warlock armor will look like, as we can see right here. Also, the Trials armor will get some set bonuses. So there is Twofold Crown, and the 2-piece perk allows picking up ammo bricks to heal you. Then the 4-piece bonus has final blows with primary ammo weapons, granting briefly increased radar resolution. So a pretty good set bonus really overall, if you can get a good set of this armor for PvP, and that's really what that set bonus focuses on, based on the perks. But the tier system will of course apply to all of the Trials gear. I'm not sure if there'll be any caveats or extra things worth knowing about how that will operate, but I guess we'll find out on the weekend. Additionally, for Trials though, Ayesha's Embrace has been updated. This is a rapid fire frame Void Scout rifle, and it can roll Encore, Eye of the Storm, Keep Away, Rapid Hit, as well as Shoot to Loot, Demoralize, and 4 per weapon. They can pair up in the second column with Adagio, Withering Gaze, Desperate Measures, Destabilizing Rounds, and then there is Sword Logic, Kill Clip, and Precision Instrument. And finally there is the Forgiveness sidearm, a Heavy Burst Arc sidearm, updated again for this episode. Left column can get Volt Shot, Demolitionist, as well as Lone Wolf. Plus we have Offhand Strike, Proximity Power, Tap the Trigger in Zen Moment. Then in the second column, Adrenaline Junkie, Head Seeker, Desperate Measures, Kill Clip, Precision Instrument, Surrounded, and Loose Change. So obviously there are a few perk updates over what we had in previous seasons on these. I'd say there are decent options for PvE and PvP on it. So again, we can't say which weapon will be featured for Trials this week. It might be that they don't feature the Spreadshot hand cannon, otherwise we'll get the first 2 weapons in that archetype in the same week. But typically it's still possible to get additional weapons from engrams and stuff. So let me know any that stand out to you guys, but I wanted to just do a quick breakdown of new weapons that'll be introduced into the game with this reset. Obviously, I'm most looking forward to the Arms Week stuff personally, and to see how we'll get the holofoils and potentially even higher tiers of these weapons. I assume, on the most part, that will require us to have high power levels. That seems to be the running thing across the game now, so I guess we'll see how it pans out. But if you found the video helpful, a rating really does help us on the channel. If you're new around here, get subscribed for more Destiny content. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.